So, tell me your best ghost story.
Oh, well, I suppose I remember when I was, I don't know, about your age, 14, 15, something like that. We had a friend, Donald, and Donald got into seances. And so he had a Ouija board, you know the joke. How do you make a Ouija board? You take away his Buckfast and his jellies. Donald had a Ouija board, and we were maybe about 14 years old. And we used to go to his house, and he had this thing that he'd started black masses and all sorts of stuff. And it was all very realistic. In fact, I remember once his mum coming home, and we'd been doing something, and they'd actually broken a light bulb because we'd unscrewed it, and there was a smell of the light bulb having burst, and she came and said, "Donald, have you been having a black mass again?" As if it was a normal thing to do. So I went across to his house. To get to his house, at the end of our road, there was a little group of trees, which was known as the copse, and my brothers and I used to call it the corpse as a joke. And you had to go through there to get to Donald's house. It wasn't very big. And so I went through there, and we had the seance. And as usual, it really worked. And we were completely convinced that nobody was pushing the thing along the Ouija board. And it would spell things out. And for me, it spelled out cat. You know, we'll do things like that. Everybody take their fingers off, and it still moved a wee bit, and then it was getting really quite intense, and it was all dark, and Donald had candles lit and everything like that. So I had something spelled out about cat and corpse, a corpse and things, and other people had death, and you know, there's all sorts of things. But some, you know, there was one person whose dog had just died, and they had to spell out the name of his dog, and it was really built up quite intense, and then it was time to go home, and I had to walk through the corpse, and I was 14, wasn't going to say, I'll go home the long way, and it wasn't even that long. I decided I'll go home through the creepy woods, and there was a thing at the time where there was the Bishopbriggs cat. There was some sort of large animal had been killing sheep in the fields outside Bishopbriggs, and it was known as the Bishopbriggs cat, and it had seemingly been attacking animals. In fact, our next door neighbour had been looking for her little Springer Spaniel. Oh no, it was a King's Charles Spaniel, one of these horrible little things which had disappeared, and she was convinced that this cat had it. And of course the Ouija board had spelled out cat and corpse and everything, and I was, oh God, I don't want to go through the corpse. But I'm 14, you know, and Donald was taunting me, "Do you want me to come through with you?" And I said, "Oh yeah, that's right," because then he would have to walk back by himself, and what kudos would I have after my friend walking me hand in hand back through the copse? So, no problem. So I went off, whistling, not worried, and as I went further and further out, it was really getting quite scary. I could feel my heart going boom, 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 boom. But I'm still going to go through. As I'm getting to it, the lights had gone out, so there was 2 lampposts in it, and they had this walk through it, and one light was still on. I walked past that, and the other one flickered and went off, and it was like a scene of a bad horror movie, and I was shitting myself from that Ouija board experience and everything. So I walked through, and then I noticed a figure underneath the other lamppost, and it was a very strange, it was kind of moving strangely, and its eyes were about that high off the ground, like the size of a very big dog or a tiger or something, which that's what they all said. A cat was a puma that had escaped from the zoo or something. So, and they were orange colour, and they were moving in a strange way, not a natural way of moving, you know, very strange, almost like they were floating. And I was absolutely cacking myself. And so I stopped, and I was about to run, and then from underneath that lamppost, out came my next door neighbour, old Mrs. Smith, with her little bloody spaniel underneath her arm, which was the eyes that I'd seen floating about in front of me. And that's my horrible ghost story. It wasn't a ghost at all.